What's up, podcast listeners? We are back with the What's Up Castleberry podcast. My name is Drew Taylor. I have my co-host to my right, Andy Searles, and our lovely producer, Robin Kepi. Man, it's good to be back. I missed you guys.
I know. It's funny. When you weren't there, people said that was actually our best podcast ever. So,
Is that
I mean, obviously our listeners, right, Robin? Robin stepped up as senior co-host, crushed it.
I did.
Well, it's probably because you guys were with a lively bunch of people at the Castleberry Patio Bar and Grill. I'm so sad I missed out on our first live location.
You just had to have those babies.
That's right.
Question for you guys. If we could go on location anywhere to do the podcast, where would it be?
The yacht we were talking about? Yes.
Yes. Drew, what about you?
That's a great question. What about when it eventually gets renovated, the Castleberry house? Do you like in the formal dining room of the Castleberry house?
Yeah,
Get dressed up and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like
Have the king come.
Black
the
tie.
king of Castleberry.
King of
That's Andy.
Who is the king of Castleberry?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think Castleberry got a king. But I tell you, countries with a king got a lot going for them. That's my British friends.
They do. Robin, when we were you were at the Patio Bar and Grill, did you guys eat anything, drink anything?
No, we were very professional.
Okay.
Unlike today,
Hey, what stays in
what
what happens in Castleberry stays in Castleberries, right, Robin?
That's right. Well, very good. Well,
That's what our lawyer advised us to do.
your legal counsel. Well, if you haven't listened to that episode, listener, please go back. We exist to have good conversations. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're
Sometimes they're on an iPhone.
Yeah.
But we have conversations about all things Castleberry, Florida related, and we're pastors, friends, just enjoying the beautiful city of Castleberry in which we find ourselves. And with everything that's going on, I feel like we've got an action-packed episode this week. We've got an award winner, multi-award winner on our podcast, including our business moment. Ed Pisani, I saw, won a recent award with the
Yes, the
Foundation.
police foundation that we started was the co-citizen of the year. So Ed's a part of our team there, and
He's a part of our team here too.
I love it. It's great. Drew, before we move on though, I think we explained to our listeners last time why you couldn't join us for our last episode. Give us a little update on what it's like to have 4 kids under 2, and let us first say congratulations to you and Becky.
Well, thank you. Yes, I was actually sharing on my social media page the Jim Gaffigan little sketch where
Drew Taylor at myspace.com.
where he jokes about what's it like having 4 babies. Well, it's like you're drowning in the ocean and you get thrown a baby. We are hanging in. I have an amazing wife. She not only for those who don't know our story, we have 2 children, a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old, or 8-month-old rather, that are adopted. So this was our first pregnancy, and we found out they were twins. Obviously, that's a whole nother level. But to watch her give birth to our twins was amazing. I did not pass out, but I also I stayed back, kind of up by her head, just holding her hand, and she's a rock star. Did phenomenal. So proud of her. And then just witnessing the babies coming out. Our son came out first, Corey, and he was cute. But then when our daughter came out, she, no lie, full head of hair and just clearly bigger and more like developed. And it was just my first words were, "Wow, she is big." It's hopefully the only time I'm going to say.
When
call
she
my
gets
daughter
to
big.
teenage years,
Not a good idea. But they're sleeping, they're eating, and we've got a wonderful team of people around us, family, friends, etc., that have come around and supported us. So we're good, but also glad to be kind of back and functioning and doing our thing here. So I mean, I feel like that's a natural transition to being a new dad.
You feel like everything is a natural transition.
I can
to
always
dad jokes.
transition to dad jokes. No,
Right, Robin?
That's true. That is a thing.
It is time for the dad jokes of the week. Robin, I think you need to give a positive account on my behalf.
I was just
from
thinking
today
that.
to explain where we were earlier today of this recording.
So Drew and I were at a speaking engagement at Ascension Lutheran Church at their Young at Heart Club, and Drew not only did amazing at speaking, like top notch. But he delivered a dad joke, and the whole room, without being...
Got an eruption of laughter.
It's true.
Right? I mean,
What?
it was like a legitimate...
Now, we were in the Lord's house, so miracles happen. But it was truly, they were instantly...
It made my day, Andy. I'm not going to lie. And I told them right after the laughter subsided, I said that this is the first time I've ever gotten laughed.
Well, we knew there was someone who would find your jokes funny, and you found them, so congratulations.
Oh man! Well, let's dive in. I'll give mine first. These are quick. I was thinking about both physical sports and children activities and all, because that's kind of the theme of our guest today. So, Robin, looking at you, here we go. Robin, do you know where young trees go to learn?
No.
Young trees go to learn at an elementary school. There you go. That was
I don't
cheesy.
have my sound effect.
That's cheesy. All right.
But that was good.
Thank you.
We hope you, ladies and gentlemen of Ascension who signed up today, are laughing at that.
Yes, good. We have some new subscribers. All right, second, I've been asked the question, my wife teaches swimming. Is the pool safe for swimming?
Is it?
Well, it depends.
Ah!
Well, it depends.
Yay! We love confident Drew.
Those are my two.
Okay.
Andy, do you have any dad/Doug jokes?
I do.
All right.
And I've been building up, so I got a few. Drew, did you know that women really know how to hold a grudge over the smallest things?
Excuse me?
My wife asked me to pass the lip balm, and by mistake, I gave her a tube of super glue. And it's been a week now, and she's still not talking
She's
to me.
still not talking to you. Nice. I thought that was good. I like that
Do you
one.
have a comment on that one, Robin?
No.
My dentist said my teeth were stained. He asked, "Do you smoke or drink coffee?" I said, "I didn't know that you could smoke coffee."
Okay.
Okay, another wife one, another lady one. Back in January, I got a text from my wife. Simply said, "Windows frozen." I texted back, "Just pour some water over it." A few minutes later, she replied, "Well, the computer's totally broken now."
I didn't know where that was going. I like that one. That's good. That's a Florida joke.
I
'cause
feel
it's
like
not
I
the
can't laugh
traditional.
at these.
Robin, I'm so sorry that Doug's jokes are disappointing you.
It's not that they're disappointing me. They're just a little sexist today.
Well, you could easily have inserted male.
Yeah, man. You can-
References.
Absolutely. You'll have
And
to
it'd
turn
be
the.
sexist the other
You'll
way.
have
No, I break computers all the time, so.
It reminds me. No, it
I
reminds
know
me.
you're a computer fixer, so yeah.
Pouring liquid on a computer reminds me of our favorite show, The Office, when Andy is trying to get a new computer and he has to break the old one. He's sticking like random items into the little floppy disks and into the CD drive and all.
Floppy disks. Floppy disks.
Oh boy! All right, I think that's a sufficient use of our time for the dad jokes of the week. Hope you enjoy those, listener. And listeners, feel free to send us dad jokes. We would love to share them on the air. All right, here we go. Castleberry in the news time. This is a feel-good story. Andy, I got to tell you, I know you go to Secret Lake Park very often. Your church worships there, and you frequent that park often. I had not been there since they had updated, both with the canvas pavilion, the park, the playground areas in the back, the renovating of the soccer field. It is so nice. I really had a great experience. The walkway, the little bike path there. So my family and I will be back there very often. As you've just heard, we have many kids. We need to get outside and do stuff that's free. But there is not only I want to highlight listeners, if you haven't been to Secret Lake Park recently, but there is a kids soccer league going on there called First Kick that runs March through the end of April, and it's for ages of children 4 through 11 years old, and you can find out more at the Castleberry Recreation. Andy, you're a soccer fan, and would you just speak to what's going on at Secret Lake Park as a whole and Castleberry Rec?
Yes, I am a soccer fan. I don't know much about this, but I'm excited that soccer is growing in the city, of course. But I agree, I love the park. They've really done some great work. There's a new, bigger gazebo. You've got the overhang on the back of the rec center. The baseball diamond has been changed to a soccer field. They've rebuilt some of the kind of broad walks through the wooded areas.
Are there features inside? I wasn't sure. I didn't go inside.
Inside the rec center?
Yes.
Not yet,
Okay.
but our church has made a donation to help some of that happen.
Oh, great.
So
Okay.
hopefully that will be happening
More to
soon as
come.
well. And that will benefit the citizens of Castleberry as well. So yeah, just really, really impressed with what they've done, and it's very exciting that they're going to be doing similar things in most of the other parks in Castleberry as well.
Yes, this is going back to a few years ago, the bond referendum. Several $1 million going to be poured into our parks, and so we are really excited about the involvement and growth at Secret Lake, and more to come on that. We will take a short break, and we'll be back with our guest. We are proud to be sponsored by Edward Jones Financial. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. Alia Fareed, your Castleberry Edward Jones financial advisor, is here to help you. She will work to build a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so she can help you achieve what's most important. Call Alia Fareed at 407-678-0658 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones Financial, member SIPC.
Welcome back, listeners, to our favorite part of the show, where we have just overcome several technical difficulties to provide to you our very special guest today. In fact, an exceptional guest. Recently, she received the Orlando Police Department Good Citizen Award. From the Orlando Magic, Colleen, you were recognized as a woman making history. I've got to write these down because there's so many accolades. The Ocoee Police Department has recognized you. Orange County Sheriff's Office has given you the Community Crime Prevention Award. You're a big deal.
Well, thank you. It's not really me, it's all of them.
Yeah, well, let's talk about why they are a big deal. But let's start with a couple of icebreakers, if we could, Colleen. I think, did I lose mentioning your name in all those accolades?
You did. I was going to jump in on that. Yeah.
Well, listeners, this lady behind all these awards is Colleen Gonzalez. And Colleen, first question, icebreaker question.
Yes.
If tomorrow's newspaper was going to write an article on your day today, what would the headline be?
On my day today would be growing the good, empowering goodness from the bottom up.
That sounds like a good day.
It's every day. I love it.
Growing, empowering, that's great. And listener, this is obviously a non-visual platform. Colleen is wearing a very highlight-colored yellow shirt with the word grow right across it, so you can't miss. But that's very much...
In fact, I'm going to go get my sunglasses so I can look at it during the interview.
It's either the shirt or the accolade.
Yes.
There's just something glowing about
just
it.
a radiant personality.
Yes. That's right, the light in her eyes.
That's right. Well, Colleen, it's just after lunchtime as of this recording, so I'm always ready to eat. I don't know about you, but I'm always ready to snack. Do you have a favorite? You mentioned your husband, you got a family. You have a favorite restaurant that you guys enjoy going out
right
to?
in this area, if I'm feeling Mexican, off of Redbug, Gave Azul. If I'm feeling Italian, little takeout from Tomasino's, you know.
Good choices right there on Redbug. Yeah, you're right up the street.
That's great. In our neighborhood, there's lots of different countries that we can feel and digest as well.
Absolutely.
That's so let's dive in, Colleen. In 2015, just 7 years ago, you launched a 501c3, which is now called Grow Healthy Kids. And GROW stands for Grassroots Outreach Within. Tell us about your passion and what was going on inside of you that caused you to want to launch this organization.
Absolutely. My children went to a Title I school, and my husband and I made that decision very calculated because if they went to private school, I would have had to return to work. So we made the choice that if we were going to go to public school, I would be highly involved. And I tried doing some stuff with the PTA and different things. But as I would walk my kids back and forth to school, I would make observations. It could have been that, a child didn't have proper footwear or maybe not wearing a helmet as they were biking.
You looked at my shoes when I said that. Rarely do I wear pants.
I also made the observation as, thanks to social media, we can see what's happening in the community. And I noticed what was happening at other schools in Seminole County were not happening at my school, which led me to ask the question, why? And instead of sitting back and going, that's such a shame, it led me to say, what are the barriers and how can we overcome it?
That's a great answer. So obviously you saw a need, and instead of, like you said, so the easy attitude would have been pointing the finger.
That's so sad. Poor us. No.
Instead you were deciding to be proactive about it. So as we think about and hear more about this not-for-profit, GROW, what would you say you're for? How would you describe what GROW is to
Well, our mission is to increase opportunities for kids to engage in physical activity and healthy living. But we do that by empowering those trusted individuals that have contact with them. So that could be their running club coach, their PE coach. It could be their teacher. It could be their school resource officer. We don't really think of that, teachers have the opportunity to get their kids physically active. Well, in the state of Florida, recess is mandatory, but recess isn't funded, and if you don't have a lucrative PTA, that goes back on the teachers. And we want that classroom to be a happy, productive place, but part of productive learning is kids being able to get their energy out in the right way.
Yeah, you were just mentioning off air that the budget for a PE teacher at a public school is essentially nothing. It's almost
very
zero.
limited.
So it sounds like the ministry organization is trying to fill kind of the gap there of providing the necessary resources so that teacher can do a good job. That's very important.
And I love that you've done that in a very relational way. You talked about finding a person of trust in the school, and I think that's so important for the kids as well. We don't want to just give them stuff for stuff's sake, right? We give it to foster trust and allow them to engage.
And when we tell people we're not a giveaway nonprofit, we don't show up and just give things away. The idea is we place these resources, whether they be shoes in the hands of somebody at the school level, or sports ball in the back of a patrol car, or supplies in the hands of a teacher. These are people that in our community have the opportunity to guide kids and have those good relationships with them.
I love that dual process working together. So over the years, you've worked in 38 schools, given out 8,142 sports bags.
Wow.
Through law enforcement.
Distributed over 5,550 shoes, but I understand that's low now.
That is low, because that's when we started really calculating. We estimate that we've given out over 11,000 pairs of shoes, because we started this in 2009. So that's a lot of years between 2009 to 2015. But by the time my kids were in middle school and high school, I knew that I couldn't step away from what had been started.
Yeah, I love that. So you've also done some work, one of those schools at Castleberry Elementary. What were your impressions of that school? That's our kind of community school here. And tell us about the impact that you made there.
Absolutely. We have been working with Castleberry for years, way before the renovation. For the last 3 years, I believe, their teachers have received recess supplies. They have also been very proactive in looking out for students. Their physical education coach is
Cohen?
Amazing. Yes,
She's been
Janet.
there a long time.
She's been there 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. She's been there longer than Drew's been alive.
She's awesome.
And probably you too.
She has always had running club, and she is proactive. That if she sees a student who is maybe prohibited in their ability to play, she has seen kids with duct tape on their shoes. Sometimes students get their feet wet, and if you've ever had a little boy, those shoes can stink up really quick.
Yeah, my kids would probably say, if you've ever seen an old man, my shoes can stink up too. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so she's amazing. She's a true minister who looks out for her kids and is very proactive. And that in a partnership with her assistant principal who recently retired, Mary Walters Clark. She has been a great person. She had no problem texting me hey, can I get this last minute? And typically if our volunteers are available, somebody's very happy to get the supplies to the school as soon as possible.
Beautiful. That we've had several conversations with both teachers and administrators and different folks from Castleberry, from South Seminole. What's impressive, and you're just another piece of this, Colleen, with GROW, is that there's so many of these organizations that want to directly impact positively those children and organizations that are caring for children within Seminole County. And so it's beautiful to see. Andy and I, one of our goals in making this podcast was really to be bridge builders, to have these conversations where, oh, you're doing that? Let me introduce you to this. So it's great to hear you've already got that deep connection there in Castleberry. Colleen, watching your children, how old are your children?
My son's almost 19. 19 and my daughter's
Okay.
21.
All
So
right.
they are both in college.
So they're still your children, but they're not necessarily children.
No, they're
big
amazing
people.
adults who
awesome.
I love. You know, both of them have found their way into ministry roles. My daughter works in an emergency room, which, you know, you're dealing with people at a sensitive situation. Although she's a physician scribe, she's still learning, you know.
Right, and she's seeing it all.
Yes, and then my son is at Stetson, and actually he is part of a group of our college kids that are now taking what we do as a nonprofit to their campuses. So there's actually 2 Stetson students. One is in a sorority, he's in a fraternity, and next week they are going to be focusing on raising support and awareness. But the funds that they raise will go towards the Volusia County Sheriff's Office and their outreach bags.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Wow, we just breaking news. We're spreading
I know,
Grow beyond
I know,
Orange
but
and
isn't
Seminole
it
County.
so much fun to see these high school students that got a good taste of what it is to serve and serve others, and then taking it to their college campuses.
It's in giving back
Yeah.
that we kind of raise the tide for everybody, right? We were talking about relationships earlier, and a big part of your program involves mentors. And I love that because it brings a relational component, and because my life is better because of mentors in my life as well. Talk to us a little bit about your mentoring program, why that's important, and how people can get involved.
Absolutely. Well, you know, studies show that when children are anchored to an adult outside their family, they tend to thrive better. And so our real objective is, if we can put resources in the hands of those individuals to help them to connect with the most vulnerable of kids. Like, you know, when you think of most vulnerable, we think about kids that get to the Boys and Girls Club. My prayer is that those individuals are looking out for the ones whose families wouldn't get them to the Boys and Girls Club. Like the kids that are potentially going to fall through the cracks. But if we can get them anchored to one adult, and then, you know, they can introduce them into soccer, basketball, get them connected to other resources in the community, like the nonprofit Sports for the Kids, where they can get scholarships.
I'm on the board of Sports for the Kids.
Oh, love Danny. So we always kind of joke that, you know, grow Sports for the Kids. Like, I'm out there, you know, trying to help empower getting to the ones who wouldn't get there. Yeah. But if we can get them reeled in and then get them over.
Yeah, I'm glad there's a relationship there, because those are 2 sides of the same coin, really. You provide the stuff, and Sports for the Kids can provide the funding, and we're full steam ahead.
Yeah, but you know, having a police officer or somebody put a ball in the hands of a child, sports can be very therapeutic. Yeah. I mean, how many times have you found that you've gone through such a stressful situation, and when you go outside to get that breath of fresh air, but whether it's kicking a soccer ball with a friend or methodically bouncing a basketball by yourself, you know, studies show that repetitive movement, the sound, the breathing helps the brain like relax and get to a state of decompression. Yeah. And if a child's holding toxic stress, that stress can't be burnt. It's going to manifest itself in a really not good way.
Yeah. This sounds like really you're a part of a piece of holistic care for these children. Yeah. Colleen, you gave us off air these little flyers that give some basic information about Grow, and on the front there was a picture of a young lady. Maybe one of the questions we'd written up was just, is there a gratifying moment? Do you have a story of an individual child? I'm sure you have a million stories, but share with our listeners something that just really has meant a lot, that's inspired you in your work.
Well, on the front of our annual report, there's a young girl. She's holding her old shoes in a bag, and she's walking down the school hallway. You know, her hands are out, and you can just see, like, we all can relate to being joyful. A kid and getting that new pair of shoes. And when you were a child and you got a new pair of shoes, like, you knew you could jump higher, you can run faster. Even now as adults, you get your new shoes, you're like, oh man, like, I feel good.
But now we'll pull a hamstring.
I know. No joke. So recently we did an open house, and 3 representatives from that particular school came to the open house. It was the family liaison, the PE coach, and the school resource officer. And this is, we work with schools throughout, but this particular child resides in Orange County. And as they walked around the centers and talked to the volunteers when they got done, the school resource officer had just said how much and how powerful it was to see that student, because that particular student on the front of the annual report, they said, is still residing in hotel housing. You know, the child and her brother are constantly plagued with lice and other kind of things that are hard to kick when when the parent doesn't have resources. Right. So she said, you know, actually she showed me the child just got a new pair of red sneakers, and I got to see the child's face. But how, you know, this child who's going through hardship, to see that big smile. So although it's a pair of shoes, for that school resource officer and the family liaison to, you know, approach the child and say, you know, we care about you, we believe in you, you have this. Because obviously kids can be harsh. And in today's society where everything is so materialized, you know, having a fresh pair of shoes, it's a big deal to the child. You know, it's part of their self-confidence. And some children, you know, if their family, depending on the situation, they don't have fresh shoes, or maybe they are odor disruption to the classroom. But to have that...
I think I'm an odor distraction to my living room.
But, you know, I had a pool actually out of Lake Orienta. The boy got a pair of Brooks, and he was so excited to the point that in the classroom, he wanted during, like, between specials and whatnot, to go to the sink and wash his hands and clean his shoes. Oh. You know, but how awesome is that? Yeah. We don't know. That might have been the first pair of new shoes, like new brand name shoes that child got.
Well, I love it. It's not just about the shoes. It's the dignity that comes with that, and the sense of worth and the value that will change the trajectory of a lot of these kids' lives.
Not just that, but also the ministers that serve them. So I don't know if teachers know that when they go into becoming a teacher or working at the school, or they become a police officer, they're there to serve those children. They don't have easy jobs. Sure. They have jobs that are stressful, they are demanding. They take their job home with them. They worry about these kids that they know are going through trauma. So when we are able to make their job that much more satisfying, because when we give out these bags, like, you know, we do look for end user data. It's hard to get. But, you know, when we know and we hear from the teachers, like, man, you don't know how much it means to me to have that connection with that child, or hear from that parent that, you know, like, thank you so much. We needed that. Yeah. So it's not that, although we are fostering that relationship between that trusted adult and the child, it feels good, like, to hear back from them, like, man, thank you for helping me connect with that kid.
Well, as in so many things, it really is better to give than to receive.
Absolutely.
There is a joy in giving that just cannot be replicated by simply getting. So, I told you this would happen. Time has beaten us, and it just feels like we could talk forever. But I want to use the last couple of minutes to get people involved. So if someone is listening today and wants to get involved, what are some practical ways that they can do that?
Well, practical ways is right now we are kicking off our community ball drive for law enforcement. This project started here in Seminole County with Lyman High School's Problem Solving Incubator, and the children identified, you know, the ability to help connect kids and inspire positive interactions between cops and kids through sports. This is our 6th year doing it, and our goal is to collect 4,000 sports balls from the community. We work with faith communities throughout the entire regions. We collect at Walmarts.
These are new, correct?
We like new balls because if you think you're a kid going through hardship, and if you meet this officer, or let's say maybe there's trauma in the household, or maybe on our YouTube there's a video of a kid crying on the side of the road, and OPD stopped to see what was going on. Like, why is this kid standing on the side of the road crying? You can see there how they take that ball. They call somebody who's got a football in the back of their car.
Right.
Officer shows up, somebody's got the ball, and you can see this terrified child turn into a really memorable, positive experience for that youth. So that's a really easy way, because not only are the resources going to go in Castleberry Police Department, but through all agencies in Seminole and Orange County. And then we work with the sheriff's offices in Volusia, Brevard, Marion, Lake, and Osceola counties.
That's amazing.
So if you think about it, 4,000 random acts of kindness, it's pretty awesome, but that's a drop in the bucket of kids in need. So we really could use that support. On our website, you can go there. There's easy to contact us for back to school. This year, we would like to create over 700 back to school classroom kits of supplies to use during recess. And we typically work with the Oviedo Mall, where we set up court there for a couple weeks, and volunteers come in, they stuff the bags, and then we use volunteers to go back to their communities and be that liaison to go to the schools and deliver.
That's fantastic. I mean, often it's harder to empower volunteers than it is just to do things yourself, but with the scope of the organization now, you are utilizing volunteers well. So listeners, we would really encourage you next time you're at the store to buy a ball, any kind of ball, and we'll put that to good use. Colleen, as we wrap up, this is really important as well. Can you let our listeners know how they can connect with you and with the organization, web address?
Absolutely. We can be found at growhealthykids.org. On social media, we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then we have a YouTube channel. And on that YouTube channel, you can see resources in action, including right here in Keith Elementary School down the street. Oh, wow. We just posted a video of an event we empowered.
That's awesome. One more time, that website?
growhealthykids.org.
growhealthykids.org. I will say it slowly so that you can write that down, listener. growhealthykids.org. Colleen Gonzalez, thank you so much for being with us today. But more than that, thank you for all that you're doing to add value to our kids, to bring dignity to our kids, and change the trajectory of kids' lives. Drew, wasn't that amazing? I loved hearing from Colleen and her passion and her commitment to the kids and their well-being. What a blessing that was. Drew, as we prepare to wrap up the show, would you share with us a little bit of inspiration?
Yes, Andy, I sure will. We mentioned I missed the previous episode due to our twins being born, and our family is complete now with 4 young children. I've been given this quote several times over the last days, and I think it'll be an encouragement to everyone. This is attributed to Gretchen Rubin, and the quote is this: "The days are long, but the years are short." The days are long, but the years are short. This is most often referred to when we talk about child rearing and raising a child, that in the midst of the day-to-day grind of cleaning diapers and feeding and disciplining and all the different elements it goes to raise a healthy child, ultimately from a baby to an infant to a young adult, and then ultimately to an independent adult. There's a lot that goes on into that. I'm learning that. Andy, you're a little bit further down the path, but you know that to be the reality. The days are seemingly endless at times and very long. However, the years are short. And so I would encourage you, listener, as you think about where you're at in your life, whether it's raising children, whether it's in your career, whether it's enjoying kind of retirement and this next chapter of life, wherever you are, even when the days are seemingly long, even when things are kind of maybe mundane, moment to moment, recognize that we only have one life. The years are short, that they do go by. And would you cherish each moment? I know for me, I'm really trying to cherish and enjoy each moment I have with my children, with my growing family, recognizing that even when the days are long, even when there's things you don't necessarily enjoy doing, ultimately remember, the years are short. Time flies, so enjoy every moment.
Thank you, Drew. That was inspirational. I remember when my kids were your age, the nights were long as well. So I'm sure you and Becky are living that. Listener, thank you so much for joining us today on the What's Up Castleberry podcast. Thanks again to Colleen. Thanks to producer Robin for being a big part of our show. Thanks to our new listeners. We're grateful that you all tuned in. You can find out more about us at whatsupcastleberry.com or on our social media pages at What's Up Castleberry. We hope you'll like and subscribe. We hope you'll give us a great rating and tell your friends about this podcast. We look forward to being with you again in a couple of weeks. But until then, take care and may God bless you.